Do you frequently find yourself lacking in power, lagging behind of others? Well, you found the right video. Actually, I'm making this because I've had quite a few people come into my stream asking, how am I so much higher power than they are? How am I 35,000 while they're only 30,000? Or how am I, how do they keep feeling like they're lagging behind even though they feel like they've done everything that they can possibly do? And I'm making this video to hopefully help you understand some of the systems a little better, understand how maybe your power is lacking in specific areas that you're not noticing. So hopefully this can help some of you out. First off, let's talk about power itself. So if you come to your character, you can see your power over here on the right hand side. And if you click here, all of your character's power will pop up here, and it'll exactly tell you what you are and what you should be at for this level and give you some advice on what you can do. So right now it's telling me, hey, your artifact's a little bit low. Maybe you should consider working on that. And if you click on it, it'll tell you exactly what you should, hey, this is probably something you should be considering going after. If you need to increase your stuff, oh, you only have 3 mythics. Maybe you should go for a 4th mythic. So if you want to start somewhere, this is probably your best spot. It'll kind of help you out understand what you're lagging in, and even give you a rundown of what you can possibly do to increase those levels. For the most simple thing, obviously the relic abilities are pretty straightforward. You click on it, you hit level up, and if you have the materials, you increase it as long as you are, not locked behind a team power level. And you can continue to level these up until you've hit a certain point where it's going to ask you for a claim, which is something you won't unlock until you hit level 80. But this whole section, the relic ability section, I find is pretty straightforward. I don't think many people are having issues or finding that they're lacking in power when it comes to their relics. There isn't really too much here that's overly complicated that you might be missing, so I'm not going to really spend too much time on it. Weapons, on the other hand, is a different story. So let's go in here and we can kind of get a understanding of what is happening here. So the first thing is to remember is that your weapon determines your weapon's power. Obviously, if you're using a legendary, it's going to only have like so much power. So this legendary scout has 2,455, while this mythic has 3,150. And if you add an exotic, it would be even higher than that. So this is why you usually want to have 1 exotic and 1 mythic on you at all times. And your choices pretty much depend on playstyle. But what's this little plus here that you might be asking? Well, weapons can be, first off, enhanced. First off, you should probably make sure that your weapon is the max level it can be. So if you hit gear level, if your gun is under leveled, you can actually add materials in here, like for mythics, these or other mythic weapons that are of a higher level, to increase the level of your weapons. The other thing you can do is you can enhance your weapons, which will increase their power. So if you hit enhance here, you'll be able to increase the power of your weapon up to whatever you're locked out at, and as long as you have the materials required. The other thing you really need to be thinking about is your weapon's perks. Not only what they will accomplish for you, but how they increase your power. So if you come here and you check the traits of your weapon, you'll notice that you get a full list of all of the perks for the game. So right now I have yin and yang on my gun, which gives me a power of 300. But if I were to get a better version of this gun with a, say, mythic rolled annihilation, this gives 800 power instead of the 300 from the rare version. Legendaries will give you 350, and mythics an insane 800. So getting a weapon with 2 mythic perks is just nuts. So if you had 2 blue perks, 2 rare perks, that's 600 power. It's not even close to 1 of these. If you had 2 of these, that's 1,600 bonus power for your character. Having mythic perks on your guns is very important. You don't have to have the recommended ones, though I'm going to be completely honest about, from what I've seen looking through the list of guns, pretty much the recommended ones are almost always the best ones to choose from. But keep it in mind, if you want something else, say you don't like Annihilation, you like Triple Tap, you can take Triple Tap. They're still worth 800. Triple Tap's also worth 800. You can take whatever one you want, but keep in mind, you're going to want to roll these mythic ones. They give a huge power advantage over these legendary ones and over these blue ones. And yes, it sucks because maybe there's something cool down here in the legendary or the rare area that you can't use, but that's just how it rolls. I'm sorry. The last thing that a lot of people seem to be missing out on is the mod system. Once you've unlocked mods, they are a great way to increase the power of your weapon. So, for example, if you click right here where it says mods, this will bring you to the mod screen. And if you haven't dealt with these yet, this will be empty. And all you have to do is equip other mods. And if you've found any mods or played any missions and given you any mods, they'll be here. So currently I have this equipped. This is a level 2 ranged lens. It gives me precision hit damage 1.2%. And I actually have a better one, which is up here. So this is a range lens RLR5, but as you can see, it has a little symbol here in the bottom of the mod. This shows a number 4, this one shows a number 2. What that means is that if I were to equip this, it would increase the power of the perk of my gun, this perk specifically, from 2 to 4. And each of these mods is tied to a perk on your gun. So this one is tied to the one on the left, the middle one, and the right one, the right one. If I were to, right now I have this level 2 one equipped, and if I were to add the second one, you can click on the perk here and click on this little level button, and it'll actually tell you what changes with your perk when you level it up. So not only will this increase the power of your character, it will also increase the power of your mods and perks and make you more stronger in more ways than one. So if I equip go from a level 2 to a level 4, instead of final blows reload 24% of your magazine, I'll reload 28% of my magazine, which it doesn't seem like a crazy amount, but it adds up. Let's show this off. I'll equip this mod right now. Boom. And that just increased my power a little bit and the power of my mods. The other thing you can do with a mod is you can actually refine it. So if you have any spare mod parts, these can be gained from scrapping or dismantling mods that you're not using. If you have a bunch of blue mods that you don't feel like using because you're already using legendary mods, you can go ahead and dismantle them, or you can play activities that drop them and you'll get some. You can then spend them to refine the mod, which will increase the power of the mod and it once again increase your power. So this raised my power from 232 to 268, and it'll be even more exponential if you haven't done any refining of your mods yet. So if you're at 0 and you bump it up to +3, you'll be getting a huge power bonus on your character, especially if you're doing it for all 3 of your mods. I actually haven't done these yet, so you'll see that I can refine all of these. The last thing I did want to touch on, just in case people are starting to get to this point, is exotics. People are going to start getting exotics now, and it's important to make sure that your exotics are leveled up. And this is why I highly advise in the later part of the game focusing on one character specifically that you want to max out, because maxing out a exotic becomes very costly. Just like any other weapon, it has its gear level and it has its enhancement. Just like the mythics, make sure you're leveling these up and increasing these. But differently with exotics is you have your catalyst and your catalyst boost. Increasing all of these will very highly increase the power of your character, and it will make you much more powerful than anyone else in the game. The issue is the material cost. Upping these all the way to max is very material intensive, and it is why I recommend focusing on one character specifically, because if you want to max out one character, this is going to be very costly for you as a free-to-play player and very costly for you as a non-free-to-play player if you plan on spending your money on black market coins to get these resources quicker. Because some of this stuff, like weapon infusion cores, can only be found in specific areas like high-level calamity ops and legendary campaign. And then on top of that, you also need to get duplicates of the weapon if you want to max out its catalyst. But keep in mind that these materials here, the exotic weapon infusion cores and the superposed photons, are very restrictive materials. They're on weekly lockouts. You can only get so many of them per week, and you're going to run out of them very quickly if you're not taking advantage of spending silver on black market coins to refresh the black market and purchase more of these items. Keep this in mind when you're trying to level your character. Make sure you're going into your exotic catalyst and increasing its power and getting your exotics as powerful as they possibly can be alongside whatever mythic you plan on running. Let's move on to probably the most complicated part. Alrighty, the artifact system. Artifacts are an item that you will find while playing through the Realm of the Nine, whether it's Singularity Ordeal or Singularity Chaos. If you're lacking in relic power, you will most likely want to go into those activities and grind out to try to get stuff of a higher power level. Though, if you already have, so like me here, I have a level 60 piercing mythic artifact that I like. Like this one has rolled with all these little thumbs up means that these are perks and sets and effects that benefit the character that you're currently looking at. So range damage resistance, that helps Tan 2. He's a ranged character. Precision final blows grant overshield. That's helpful for Tan 2 because, you know, he deals precision final blows. Meanwhile, barrier bonus, that doesn't help me. So if you were to ever find an artifact that had a thumbs up or something that you liked in every single one of these columns, probably want to lock that and keep it in place. And the other thing you can do if you've found a mod that you like or you want to use is that you can modify these. Now keep in mind you can add, this is fully leveled up, so actually let's grab a level 41 and we'll modify this. We won't actually do anything to it, but you can click auto add or add stuff of your own. You can put other mods into it or these materials. If you hit auto add, it'll just add everything that you have resource wise to bring your relic up to the max level that it can possibly be. So if I were to do that, that would bring this relic up to level 60. The other thing that you can do once you hit a certain level, you can actually select mods and you can transfer their attributes into the other mod and make those mods even better. These haven't been unlocked for me quite yet, but keep that in mind. Check these tabs, the enhance tab and the attribute transfer tab. These will allow you to, just like your weapons, enhance them to make them even stronger. It'll go from, see on this one, I only have 1 dot on my range damage resistance. If I refine them or increase their attributes, I can make this go even higher and get even more damage resistance, which is fantastic. But the most important part is making sure that, again, your gear level, you're using mythic or exotic artifacts, you're increasing their gear level, and you're doing the most you can with them. That really covers most of it. The only other thing that I can say is make sure that you're constantly leveling up your team level. Make sure you're doing missions, you're spending your pinnacle coins to level up, you're doing different activities on different planets to increase your team level. Your daily bounties, anything you can do that gives you team level, make sure you're always maxed out as far as you can get. And that will be the most helpful for you. You'll notice every time you increase your team level, you'll just straight up gain overall power for all of your characters, which is fantastic. And that should cover about the basis of everything. Hopefully that wasn't too complicated. Hopefully this will help you out a little bit. I just wanted to make this video to basically help out anyone I could with the issues that they were having of being confused on how they would increase their power and be more on par with everyone else that they're playing with. All right, thank you so much for tuning in and have yourself a JoeNova day.